Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pixel Peak channel. The game Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remake, the name is quite long, is coming out in 2 days on September 7th. In this video, I will give you all the information you need before you buy the game. Assassin's Creed Black Flag isn't just a beloved installment in the series. For many players, this is the game that made them fall in love with Assassin's Creed. It wasn't just an assassin game, it was a game about pirates, ships, treasures, islands, naval battles, and diving. And a character like Edward Kenway, who didn't enter the story just to save the world right from the start, he was just someone looking for money, freedom, and adventure. These are the true pirate vibes. However, this remake comes with several risks that I will tell you about later. But before we continue the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's continue. The first thing you'll notice immediately is how the game looks. The Caribbean here has become much more beautiful. The colors are richer, the sea is clearer, and the islands have more life. The lighting at night has improved, and the daytime is no longer tinted orange. The entire feel has changed completely. But more important than the graphics and all of this is that the world has become more seamless and larger. Meaning, you sail the ship, spot an island, approach it, get off to explore, and return without any interruptions or loading screens. The experience has become much more seamless. This is very important because Black Flag was fundamentally a game built on the feeling of the journey. In terms of graphics, Ubisoft took the entire game and put it in the new Naval engine. But at the same time, they tried as much as possible to preserve the original identity of Black Flag. This is crucial because Black Flag is not just an open-world game like Valhalla or Odyssey, where you need massive numbers, armor levels, enemies with specific levels, and restricted areas you can't enter because you're weak and lack the proper gear. Its strength lay in the feeling of being a pirate. You sail wherever you want, spot a ship from afar, change your plans, and engage in a naval battle. You land on an island, open a chest, look for treasure and find a map. These are the vibes of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and it seems Ubisoft understood this. Let's not forget the sailing, which remains one of the strongest parts of the game. Steering the ship is incredibly fun, but it has become more cinematic. Naval battles have a stronger impact now. Ships will have weak points, and the explosions, waves, and ship movements all make naval combat feel much grander than before. When you weaken an enemy ship and decide to board it, the feeling is exactly as it was in the old Black Flag. Chaos, smoke, swords, bullets, and pirates running everywhere. The sea shanties are back, and this alone is very important. These energetic songs aren't just background music, they are a core part of the game's personality. They've added new songs, some of which are from Assassin's Creed Rogue. Now, you can even choose the song you want to listen to. This detail might seem small, but for people who lived the Black Flag experience, these are the things that make the journey enjoyable. I tested the game in a private session with Ubisoft at the end of April. I'm very thankful to them. I had some feedback, and most of it was corrected in the final version. The game didn't need to be a heavy RPG, meaning there are no enemy levels, armor doesn't have levels, and there's nothing stopping you from progressing in the story just because you haven't completed specific things first. Yes, there will be certain loot. There are trinkets or talismans that boost your progression and give you additional perks, but not in a way that turns the game into a numbers game rather than an adventure. At the same time, the combat has clearly changed. Honestly, if we brought the exact same combat system to today, it would feel too easy. You just wait for the enemy to attack, counter, or block, kill them, and move on to the next. This was visually pleasing, but lacked depth. I don't want to say we've gotten better as players, but games have become harder, and people have learned how to play. That's why the studio decided to add more depth to the combat. It now requires more effort from you. You can just spam regular attacks and get by, but the real fun comes out when you use all your tools and combat techniques. When you use your gadgets, combat becomes faster, smarter, and much more enjoyable. The best change for me is the rope dart. Originally, you unlocked it very late in the game, but here in the remake, you will get it much earlier. This is an excellent decision because the tool is incredibly fun and opens up many possibilities for both combat and stealth. You can pull an enemy from afar without exposing yourself, along with several other mechanics. The game hasn't turned into a Souls-like, but the combat has gotten harder. Enemies will be more aggressive and put more pressure on you. Because of this, you have to play a certain way, utilizing parries, dodges, heavy attacks, and light attacks. You need to string together combos to succeed in fights. Despite the trailers always showing Edward fighting with dual swords, there are actually multiple weapon types. You have various kinds of swords, the rope dart, and several other weapons and gadgets. The pistols themselves have become more important than before. You can use them normally by aiming and shooting, or use them as a quick shot right in the middle of combat to instantly aim and fire. There's also a great addition, the perfect parry and the perfect dodge. The perfect parry plays a huge role now. If you time it perfectly, you can trigger a takedown. Right after a perfect parry, you can perform a takedown to drop the enemy and finish them off. Among the upgrades you can unlock are specific weapon perks. For example, a weapon might give you extra money after landing a kill with a heavy attack. This makes the experience more fun and gives us good reasons to try out different weapons. As for the outfits, they have been turned purely into cosmetics. This means if there's a specific look or outfit you love, you can wear it without worrying about losing any stats. Outfits no longer have stats attached to them. Instead, outfits will unlock what are called trinkets or talismans. Rather than being forced to wear a specific outfit for its benefits, you can wear whatever you like and select your perks separately through these trinkets. This is a phenomenal change because many people prefer certain looks for Edward. They want to dress him in a specific style without sacrificing power. Regarding crafting, in the original version, you could craft and buy many things. But here, crafting focuses more on upgrading your health and ammo capacity. Outfits and gear, on the other hand, are now scattered in chests throughout the world. This opens the door wider for exploration as you actively go out to hunt for them. Diving underwater was one of the things that captivated me the most. Plunging into the sea to search for medicine inside a shipwreck reveals a truly beautiful underwater view, complete with fish, coral reefs, and sunlight piercing through the water. That diving moment made me realize that the game hasn't just improved visually, but it has enhanced the overall atmosphere. There is now a distinct sense of danger and beauty all at once. Best of all, you can now dive in many more locations, not just in specific spots like before. This makes the ocean itself a place worth exploring, rather than just a road between islands. Players might be divided into two groups here. For people who love exploration, this will be fantastic, and I'm one of them. I will upload several videos explaining where to find the most important items, armor, and weapons. The second type, those who prefer buying everything from the shop, might find this annoying. For me, this perfectly suits Black Flag because the core joy of the game is exploration, just going out and getting lost in the world without a specific goal. Naturally, since exploration has expanded, I can tell you that there are new islands, new hidden locations, fresh encounters, new side quests, and much more environmental detail. Most importantly, Ubisoft didn't turn the map into a massive checklist filled with annoying icons. Instead, the focus is on seeing an intriguing place and going there to explore every detail. One of the biggest improvements in this game is the stealth system, which has become much better than before. A major change is the ability to crouch anywhere. This completely alters the gameplay, as originally we had to rely on tall grass or specific spots just to hide. Weather also heavily impacts stealth now. If there's heavy rain, a storm, or harsh conditions, the sound of your footsteps becomes less audible to enemies. Their line of sight is also reduced, allowing you to complete a mission in an entirely different way if a hurricane is blowing. Another adjustment I noticed is that they fixed the tailing missions. We all know that the older Assassin's Creed games were obsessed with follow this person without being seen until you reach the destination missions. These were frustrating because failing meant restarting from the very beginning. They changed that concept here. If you were spotted or failed the stealth section, the game doesn't always force a restart. The mission might just seamlessly transition into a combat encounter. Of course, I have a negative observation. It's negative for me, but you might like it. The game includes around 6 hours of brand new content, which features new characters, new story arcs, and new missions. The game has introduced new characters called officers. Each one will have their own backstory and grant a special ability for your ship. The idea itself is great, as they had planned this since the original game, but couldn't implement it back then. Each of these officers will have a role in the story, and an ability that benefits your gameplay. However, I see it as an unnecessary addition to a game that is already massively packed. Even the new cutscenes and content don't feel like they match the quality of the rest of the game, especially regarding animations. Something feels off with the animations. I sensed a clear gap between the new scenes and the original ones. This matters because, honestly, the strength of Black Flag wasn't just in the sailing, combat, visuals, and ships. Its true strength lay in its characters, names like Blackbeard, Edward, and Anne Bonny, and all the sharp, natural, and highly entertaining dialogue. So when new content is added and it doesn't meet that same standard, it stands out immediately. At the same time, I don't want to exaggerate. This won't completely ruin the experience, but it's something I wanted to share with you. I don't know, it just felt tacked on, like they were rushing to push anything out to complement the older content. Honestly though, if you don't pay too much attention to it and just focus on the core content and the game itself, you won't even care about these details. I just wanted to point this out so you are aware of it. Performance-wise, the PC version ran flawlessly. I tested the game on a PC with an RTX 5090, and the smoothness was absolutely phenomenal. On consoles, you will have 3 options: performance, fidelity, and balanced. Performance runs at 60 FPS, fidelity at 30 FPS, and balanced at 40 FPS. Ray tracing, however, will only be active in the fidelity and balanced modes. I see the 60 FPS mode as crucial here because combat has gotten faster and requires quicker reaction times. On the PlayStation 5 Pro, the game benefits greatly from PSSR and features much stronger ray tracing. You will see this in comparison videos once the game officially launches. Well, this was most of the information you need to know before buying the game. Let me know in the comments, are you gonna play it again? If you liked the video, I'd like to remind you once again to like and subscribe. Take care, and goodbye.